Have you ever had one of those days where someone says or does something and it just completely throws you off? It could be a stranger, a colleague, even a friend. One little comment, one small action, and suddenly your mood is ruined. You're angry, you're frustrated, you're bothered. It feels like they have this power over you, doesn't it? Well, what if I told you that you could take that power back? What if you could learn to navigate these situations without getting angry, without letting anyone disturb your peace? Today we're going to explore exactly how to do that. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending things don't affect you. It's about understanding the true source of your feelings and fundamentally changing your relationship with the words and actions of others. The first and most powerful concept we need to grasp is this: no one can make you angry. Anger is not something that is injected into you from the outside. It's an internal response. Think about it. Two people can experience the exact same situation, and one might get furious while the other remains completely calm. If the external event was the cause of the anger, then everyone would have the exact same reaction. But they don't. The difference lies in our interpretation. It's the story we tell ourselves about what just happened that creates the emotion. Someone cuts you off in traffic. The event itself is neutral. It's just a car changing lanes. But the story you might tell yourself is, that person is so disrespectful. They think their time is more important than mine. They put me in danger. That story is what sparks the fire of anger. The key to freedom, then, is to become aware of the gap between the event and your reaction. In that tiny space lies your power. When something happens, instead of immediately reacting, take a breath, pause, just for a second. In that pause, you can question the story you're about to tell yourself. Is it the only possible story? Is it even true? Maybe the person who cut you off is rushing to the hospital. Maybe they just received terrible news and are distracted. Maybe they simply made a mistake. You don't know. Here's the liberating part. You don't need to know. The point isn't to make excuses for them. The point is to release yourself from the prison of a negative story. You can choose a different narrative, one that serves you better. You can choose to think, wow, they must be in a real hurry, and then just let it go. You're not letting them get away with it. You're giving yourself the gift of peace. You're re-choosing not to give away your energy and your good mood to a random stranger on the highway. This brings us to the second principle: understanding expectations. A huge portion of our frustration and anger comes from our unmet expectations of other people. We expect people to be polite, to be considerate, to be fair, to think and act the way we would, and when they don't, we get upset. But here is a hard truth. Other people are not obligated to live up to your personal rulebook for life. Everyone is living in their own world, with their own beliefs, their own struggles, and their own level of awareness. To expect everyone to behave according to your standards is to set yourself up for a lifetime of disappointment. Instead of holding on to rigid expectations, try adopting an attitude of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean agreement. You don't have to agree with someone's rude behavior. Acceptance simply means acknowledging reality as it is. This person said this thing. This person did this action. It has happened. Fighting against reality is like trying to push a river upstream. It's exhausting and futile. When you accept what has happened, you can then make a conscious choice about how to respond, rather than being dragged along by an automatic angry reaction. You can decide to set a boundary. You can decide to have a calm conversation. You can decide to walk away. But you are deciding from a place of power and clarity, not from a cloud of anger. Let's talk about the idea of taking things personally. This is a big one. When someone criticizes you, insults you, or dismisses you, it's so easy to internalize it. We think their words are a reflection of our worth. But the truth is, what other people say and do is almost always about them, not you. Their words are a projection of their own reality, their own insecurities, their own worldview. Someone who is happy, secure, and at peace with themselves rarely feels the need to tear others down. It's people who are in pain that tend to spread pain. When you realize this, it's like putting on a suit of armor. The arrows of criticism and negativity can still fly your way, but they just bounce off. You can hear someone's negative comment, and instead of thinking, there must be something wrong with me, you can think, this person must be having a really bad day. Or this says more about their own issues than it does about me. This isn't about being arrogant or dismissing all feedback. Constructive criticism from people you trust is valuable, but the random negativity from others, that's not your baggage to carry. You can observe it, acknowledge it, and let it pass by without letting it into your heart. Another practical tool is to practice empathy. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, not to justify their behavior, but to understand it. What might be motivating them? What are they afraid of? What are they trying to achieve? Often, behavior that seems malicious on the surface is actually driven by fear, insecurity, or a desperate need to feel important. When you can see the scared or hurting person behind the aggressive mask, it's much harder to get angry. Your anger often transforms into a different feeling, perhaps compassion, or even just neutral detachment. You see them not as a monster, but as a fellow human being who is struggling. This shift in perspective is incredibly disarming, both for you and for them. Diffuses the tension and allows you to respond with wisdom instead of rage. Now, all of this is easier said than done. It's a practice. It's like building a muscle. You won't be perfect overnight. There will be times when you slip up, when you get angry, when you let someone get under your skin, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. When you do get angry, don't get angry at yourself for being angry. That's just adding another layer of negativity. Instead, be curious. Ask yourself, what story did I tell myself? What expectation was violated? Why did I take that personally? Use every instance of anger as a learning opportunity, a chance to better understand your own internal patterns. Think of your mind as a garden. For a long time, you may have been letting anyone and everyone throw weed seeds into your garden. And you've been getting frustrated about all the weeds. The practice we're talking about today is about building a fence. It's about deciding that you are the only one who gets to decide what gets planted in your garden. You can't stop people from throwing seeds at your fence, but you can stop those seeds from taking root in your soil. Wow. Your peace of mind is your garden. It is precious, and it is your responsibility to tend to it. So let's recap the strategy. First, recognize that your anger comes from your internal story, not the external event. Pause and choose a story that serves you. Second, release your rigid expectations of how other people should behave. Accept reality and respond consciously. Third, stop taking things personally. Understand that what others say and do is a projection of their own reality. And fourth, practice empathy to understand the motivation behind their actions, which can transform your anger into compassion. Start small. The next time you feel that little spark of annoyance, try to catch it. Take that 1-second pause. Ask yourself, do I want to give my peace away over this? More often than not, the answer will be no. Every time you successfully choose peace over anger, you are strengthening that muscle. You are rewiring your brain. Over time, you'll find that things that used to infuriate you barely even register. You'll move through your day with a sense of calm and stability that no one can take away from you, because you'll finally understand that it was yours to give in the first place. You are the guardian of your own peace. Protect it, nurture it, watch your life transform. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content on building a stronger, more peaceful mind. Take care.